I never planned on becoming invisible in my own home. It happened slowly, like a photograph fading in the sun. The irony. While my family saw less and less of who I really was, I was secretly building an empire that would make their jaws drop. My name is Addison, and this morning, my 16-year-old daughter, Leah, rolled her eyes at me for what felt like the 100th time. Her friend Sophia was sitting at our kitchen island. "Mom, can you not hover? We're trying to study," Leah said, not even looking up. "Just thought you might want a snack," I replied, sliding a plate of fresh-baked cookies toward them. "God, Mom, you're so basic," Leah muttered. "This isn't the 1950s. You don't have to play housewife all the time." I caught Sophia's uncomfortable glance as she reached for a cookie. "Your mom's cookies are amazing," though she offered kindly. "Whatever. That's literally all she does. Dad says she's lucky he makes enough money so she can stay home and bake." The words stung, but I kept my face neutral as I wiped down the counter. "Actually," I said, grabbing my car keys, "I have some errands to run." "You girls, okay, here." Leah waved me off. "Must be nice, right? Just running errands and watching Netflix all day while Dad actually works." I closed the door and took a long breath. If they only knew that the errands involved finalizing a $50 million deal that would reshape the tech industry. 20 minutes later, I sat in my secret downtown office, a sleek, modern space with floor-to-ceiling windows. Clark paced excitedly in front of my desk. "Addison, the board approved it. We're acquiring TechFront," he said, running his hands through his salt and pepper hair. "Flynn doesn't even know what hit him. He still thinks he's negotiating with some faceless corporation." I allowed myself a small smile. "Perfect. The paperwork's ready for your signature." Clark hesitated. "Don't you think it's time to tell your family? This makes you one of the most influential tech entrepreneurs in the country." I spun my chair to face the window, watching the city buzz below. "I've been thinking about that. The way they treat me. Maybe it's time for a wake-up call." My husband, Uriel, called. "Hey honey," I answered, keeping my voice sweet. "Need something? Did you remember to pick up my dry cleaning? I have that presentation tomorrow." "Of course," I replied, signing the acquisition papers with my free hand. "Anything else?" "No, that's it. Don't wait up tonight. Important dinner meeting." I hung up and turned to Clark. "You're right, it's time they knew. But we're going to do this my way." "Why do I feel like you're plotting something?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. "Because I am." I dialed Maya. "Remember that plan we discussed?" "I'm ready." "Let's set it in motion." "Are you sure?" Maya asked. "Once you do this, there's no going back." "I'm sure," I said. "I'm tired of being invisible. It's time they saw me. Really saw me." After hanging up, I looked at Clark. "Call a board meeting for next week. Make sure to invite Flynn. He needs to be there when he realizes who just bought his company. And my family, they'll be there too. They just don't know it yet." I stood up, smoothing my designer blazer. It's time they learned that the lazy stay-at-home mom they mock is actually the one keeping their comfortable lifestyle afloat. Clark grinned. "This is going to be interesting." "Oh, it will be. But first, I need to go home and play my part. Leah needs help with calculus, and Uriel needs his shirts pressed." As I drove home, a mix of anticipation and nervousness washed over me. Was I really ready to shatter the illusion I'd carefully maintained? The weight of my secret empire had grown too heavy to carry alone. My phone buzzed with another message from the board. I smiled, thinking about how next week would change everything. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with a side of humble pie at a board meeting no one sees coming. "I thought we could do something special as a family next week," I announced over dinner. Uriel barely looked up from his phone. "Next Thursday, I've made reservations downtown for lunch." Leah's head snapped up. "I can't, I have cheer practice." "Actually," I said, "I already spoke with your coach. She said you could miss one practice." "You what?" Leah's fork clattered against her plate. "Mom, you can't just, and I have meetings," Uriel interrupted, finally looking up. "I checked with your assistant, Sarah. Your calendar is clear. After 11, I said sweetly. That got his attention. "You called my assistant. I wanted to make sure we could all be there. It's important." "Important?" Leah scoffed. "What could be so important about lunch with you?" Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. A message from Maya, urgent. "Flynn making moves, trying to block the acquisition. Need to talk ASAP." I kept my face neutral, though my heart raced. It's a surprise. Trust me, you'll want to be there. Whatever, Leah muttered, returning to her phone. Later that night, I found myself in my home office on the phone with Maya. Flynn's lawyers are claiming the deal is fraudulent, she explained. They're demanding to meet the CEO in person. He's just throwing a tantrum because he doesn't know who outmaneuvered him, I replied. Have Clark handle it for now. Next week, Flynn will get his meeting long with my family. Are you sure mixing these two situations is wise? I heard footsteps and quickly switched to my mom voice. Yes, honey, I'll make sure to pick up more milk tomorrow. Leah appeared in the doorway. Mom, who are you talking to? Just Mrs. Peterson from the neighborhood watch, I lied smoothly. Did you need something? About Thursday. Do I really have to come? She lingered, a flicker of genuine curiosity in her eyes. Yes, sweetheart, but I promise it'll be worth it. After she left, I texted Maya, proceed as planned. Upgrade security for Thursday. The next morning, Clark met me at the office, looking worried. Flynn's getting aggressive. He's threatening to go to the press. Let him, I replied. By Thursday, it won't matter. There's something else. Clark handed me an envelope. Inside was a typed note, back off from TechFront, or your secret life won't be secret much longer. I laughed. Flynn's getting desperate. He still doesn't realize he's dealing with a woman, does he? No, Clark said. Then let him play his games. Thursday will be quite educational for everyone. My phone rang. Uriel again. Honey, about Thursday, I really don't think I can make it. The quarterly reports. I cut him off, my voice firm. One lunch, Uriel, that's all I'm asking. When was the last time we did something as a family? He sighed. Fine, but this better be good. Oh, it will be. I hung up and turned to Clark. Make sure the conference room is ready. And let's add some dramatic flair. I want the big screen showing our company's portfolio when they walk in. You're enjoying this, aren't you? 16 years of being underestimated, dismissed, and treated like I'm nothing but a housewife. I smiled. Yes, I'm going to enjoy every second. That evening, I overheard Leah on the phone with Sophia. Mom's being weird. She's planning this mysterious lunch downtown. No idea what it's about. Dad thinks she's probably just lonely or something. I know, right? Like, get a hobby. I closed my eyes, letting the words wash over me. Soon they would understand. Soon they would see. My phone buzzed with another threatening message from Flynn. Last warning. Walk away now. I typed back a single response. Looking forward to meeting you on Thursday, Flynn. Then, I walked into the kitchen, put on my apron, and started baking cookies. The perfect housewife, preparing for her moment of truth. Let them think I'm nothing. Let them underestimate me one last time. Because on Thursday, the mask comes off. And nobody, not Flynn, not Uriel, not even Leo is ready for what's behind it. Maya sat across from me in our favorite coffee shop. Remember when you walked in here furious because Uriel told you to stick to what you're good at after you suggested investing in tech stocks? I smiled. He lost $50,000 that year. I made my first million while he thought I was taking cooking classes. Maya leaned forward. But are you ready for what this revelation might do to your family? The bell above the door chimed, and Clark rushed in, looking flustered. Sorry I'm late. Flynn's lawyers are being relentless. They always get aggressive right before they lose, I said, sliding him a coffee. Remember that deal in 2019? How could I forget? You were in the hospital having your appendix removed and still managed to close the deal. Clark chuckled. Uriel thought you were delirious from pain meds when you kept talking about market projections. He told the nurse I was just rambling. Nonsense. I gripped my cup tighter. That's when I knew I couldn't tell him. Not until I was so successful he couldn't possibly dismiss it. And now you're there. Your company is worth billions. Mom. Leah's voice cut through the coffee shop noise. She stood there, shopping bags in hand. What are you doing here? She asked, eyes darting between my companions. I thought you were grocery shopping. Just catching up with some friends, I said smoothly. You remember Maya? And him. I gestured to Clark. He's an old friend, right? Leah nodded slowly, her eyes fixed on Clark. Well, don't let me interrupt your whatever this is. As she walked away, I heard her whisper to Sophia. She's being so weird lately. First the mysterious lunch, now secret meetings. Clark waited until she was out of earshot. She's suspicious. Good, I replied. Let her be curious. It'll make Thursday even more interesting. Maya's phone buzzed. Her eyes widened as she read the message. Flynn just called an emergency press conference for tomorrow morning. Perfect timing, I said, pulling out my laptop. Let's give him something to really talk about. I drafted a quick email to our board, copying Flynn's team. The subject line, special announcement, Thursday board meeting. Are you sure about this? Clark asked. Send it, I commanded, hitting the button. And make sure the media gets wind of it, too. Flynn wants to play hardball. Let's play. Later that evening, as I prepared dinner, I was transported back to the day this all began. Uriel had laughed when I suggested investing our savings in a struggling tech startup. Stick to the grocery budget, honey, he'd said, patting my head like I was a child. Leave the real business to me. That night, I'd called Maya. Together, we built something extraordinary while I maintained my facade of domestic bliss. Mom, Leah's voice pulled me from my memories. About that coffee shop today, ... You seemed different with those people. Like you were talking about something important. What makes you say that? I don't know. You just seemed more alive. Not like regular mom you. For a moment, I considered telling her everything. Instead, I said, sometimes, people are more than what we see on the surface, sweetheart. She rolled her eyes. Whatever. Is dinner ready? I'm starving. My phone buzzed with a news alert about Flynn's press conference. He was going to try to discredit the mystery buyer before Thursday. I smiled, chopping vegetables with renewed vigor. Let him try. He had no idea he was about to face off against the woman he'd dismissed as just another housewife. Mom, Leah called from the dining room. Dad's working late again. Of course he is, I muttered. Then louder. That's fine, honey, more for us. As I served dinner, my phone lit up with another threat from Flynn. You can't hide forever. Tomorrow, I expose everything. I typed back, looking forward to your press conference. Break a leg. Because tomorrow, Flynn would make his move. But Thursday would be my checkmate. And my family would have front row seats to the show. Thursday arrived with the weight of destiny. I adjusted Uriel's tie in the elevator, playing the doting wife one last time. I still don't understand why we're having lunch here, he grumbled. The plaza would have been nicer. Leah stood in the corner, tapping on her phone. This building's kind of impressive, though. All these tech companies. 32nd floor, I announced as the elevator dinged. Follow me. Wait. Uriel stopped short, staring at the directory. This is the tech front acquisition floor. There's a huge meeting about that today. We shouldn't be here. Actually, we should. I smiled, leading them down the hallway. A security guard nodded at me as we approached the conference room. Through the glass walls, I could see Flynn pacing, his face red with anger. Board members filled the seats, and reporters waited eagerly. Mom, Leah whispered, I think we're in the wrong place. We're exactly where we need to be. I pushed open the door, and every head turned. Flynn froze. What is this? Who let these people in? Clark stood up. Everyone, please welcome our CEO. The room fell silent. Uriel grabbed my arm. Addison, we need to leave. This is a private meeting. No, I said, shrugging off his hand. This is my meeting. Flynn's face contorted. You, ... You're the mystery buyer. The one who's been trying to take my company. Not trying, I corrected, walking to the head of the table. Succeeding. Leah's phone clattered to the floor. Mom, ... But the cookies, the carpools, the PTA meetings. I did it all, I said, my voice firm. I ran this company and maintained our home because that's what everyone expected of me. No one thought to look deeper because no one thought I was capable of more. Uriel stood frozen, his world visibly crumbling. All this time, yes, I met his eyes. All this time. Flynn slammed his hands on the table. This is a setup. You can't possibly. These documents say otherwise. I cut him off, sliding papers across the table. Your board already approved the sale. They just didn't know who they were selling to. Reporters scribbled frantically. Cameras flashed. Leah had sunk into a chair, her face pale. All those times I called you lazy, Leah's voice cracked. When I told my friends you did nothing all day ... Those words hurt, I admitted. But they also drove me. Every dismissive comment, every earroll, every time you both treated me like nothing but a housewife ... It fueled me. Uriel sank into a chair. The company I've been reading about in the papers. The mysterious tech giant everyone's been trying. To identify, that was you. That was me. I stood tall, finally letting my power show. And now you know exactly who I am. The door burst open. Maya rushed in. Addison, Flynn's calling an emergency press conference. He's threatening to expose everything about your personal life. I smiled, feeling more alive than ever. Let him try. I'm done hiding. Looking at my stunned family, I added, we all have some catching up to do. Shall we have that lunch now? The private dining room felt smaller than usual. Leah pushed her salad around her plate, while Uriel stared at his untouched steak. So, I broke the silence. Any questions? How much? Uriel asked quietly. How much are you worth? The company's valued at just over $4 billion. My personal net worth is around $1.2 billion. Leah's fork clattered against her plate. Billion with a B. That vacation house in Aspen you wanted last summer, I continued. I own it. Actually, I own the whole development. But you said we couldn't afford it, Leah whispered. No, I said we shouldn't flaunt our money. There's a difference. Maya burst into the room, tablet in hand. Flynn's live on CNBC, right now. I nodded to Clark, who grabbed the remote and turned on the dining room's wall-mounted screen. Flynn's red face filled the screen. This hostile takeover is a fraud. This woman, she's nothing but a housewife playing businesswoman. Mute it, I commanded. Let him rant. The papers are signed. Mom, Leah leaned forward. All those times you were on the phone in your office, board meetings, acquisitions, running a global company, and the cooking classes, cover stories. Though I did actually learn to make a decent souffle, Uriel finally looked up. Why didn't you tell me? Really? I sat down, my fork in hand. Remember when I suggested investing in that startup 7 years ago? You laughed and told me to stick to grocery shopping. I didn't mean yes, you did. And you, I turned to Leah. Mom's so basic, all she does is bake cookies. Dad's the only one who actually works. Leah's eyes filled with tears. I'm so sorry. The door burst open again. Addison, Clark interrupted. Flynn's making moves. He's calling in favors, trying to freeze our assets. Excuse me for a moment. Feel free to order dessert. Can I watch? Leah asked hesitantly. I paused, then nodded. Come on. I sat at my desk, fingers flying over the keyboard, while Clark and Maya coordinated with our legal team. Transfer everything to the offshore accounts, I commanded. Execute Protocol Delta. What's happening? Leah whispered to Maya. Your mom's about to show Flynn why you don't underestimate her, Maya replied with a grin. I put my phone on speaker. Hello Flynn, you think you've won? I'm freezing every account. He snarled. Already moved. I cut him off. And while you were giving your little TV tantrum, my team acquired a controlling interest in your private holdings. Check your personal accounts. Silence. Then, what? What did you do? The same thing you tried to do to me. I leaned back. Except I succeeded. The line went dead. Leah stared at me, mouth open. Even Uriel looked impressed. Holy, Leah breathed. My mom's a badass. Language, I corrected automatically, then smiled. But yes, I am. Maya's tablet pinged. Flynn's retracting his statements. The board's releasing a statement supporting the acquisition. And that, I said, standing up, is how you close a deal. All those times I bragged about Dad's job, double quotes, Leah said quietly. You were running this empire while also making my lunch, helping with homework, and yes, baking cookies. I turned to Uriel. I never needed your money. I never needed anyone to take care of me. I just wanted respect. Uriel stepped forward. Addison, Mrs. Davidson. My assistant poked her head in. The press is requesting a statement. I looked at my family. Would you like to see what Mom actually does all day? Leah nodded eagerly. Uriel managed a weak smile. As we walked toward the press room, Leah grabbed my hand. Mom, those cookies you made this morning, were they really victory cookies? No, honey, I squeezed her hand. Those were I love you even when you underestimate me cookies. The victory cookies are still in the oven at home. Speaking of home, Uriel said softly. I suppose that explains why you insisted on that state-of-the-art kitchen renovation last year. Actually, I smiled. That was just because I really do love baking. Being a CEO doesn't mean I can't also enjoy being a mom. I'm just done pretending, that's all I am. The press room doors loomed ahead. Ready? I asked my family. Ready, they answered, and this time, I believed them. The press conference was a blur of flashing cameras. I stood at the podium, my family watching from the side, as I finally stepped into the light. Yes, I'm the CEO of Summit Technologies, I announced. And yes, I'm also a mother and wife who bakes cookies and attends PTA meetings. Mrs. Davidson, a reporter called out, "How did you keep this a secret for so long?" "Society's expectations made it easy," I replied. "No one looks too closely at a housewife." Suddenly, Flynn stormed in. "This isn't over. We're contesting the acquisition." "You mean like your attempt to hide losses in offshore accounts?" I interrupted, nodding to Clark. He projected documents onto the screen behind me. "Or perhaps your creative accounting with the pension fund." Flynn's face went pale. "How did you? I did my homework, Flynn. Every detail, every transaction, every skeleton in your corporate closet." "You're bluffing," he sputtered. I pulled out my phone. March 15th meeting in Singapore. "You diverted employee pension funds to cover personal losses." April 3rd. Backdated contracts to hide stop. His lawyer grabbed his arm. We should discuss this privately." "My office," I said coolly. 10 minutes. As they hurried out, Leah stepped forward. "Mom, that was incredible." "That was nothing," Maya chimed in. "You should have seen her handle the Tokyo merger last year." "Did it while making your Halloween costume?" "The robot costume." Leah's eyes widened. "The one you said took you 3 weeks to figure out." "It did. The merger took 4. How does your family feel about the revelation?" All eyes turned to Uriel and Leah. My daughter surprised me by stepping up to the microphone. "I feel ashamed," she said clearly. "I underestimated my mom because she didn't fit my idea of what success looks like, but now I see that she's the most successful person I know. Not just in business, but in life." I felt tears threatening, but held them back. "What about the threats Flynn made?" "Let's discuss those in my office," I replied. "I believe Mr. Flynn, and his lawyers should be waiting." As security cleared the room, Uriel touched my arm. "Can we watch?" I considered it for a moment. "Actually, yes. It's time you saw what I really do in my office." Flynn and his lawyers sat nervously. I took my seat. "Here's how this will work," I began. "You'll sign this agreement, accepting the acquisition terms. In return, I'll keep your creative accounting private." "You can't prove anything," Flynn's lawyer interjected. I pressed a button on my desk. A recording played Flynn's voice, clearly discussing the pension fund manipulation. "That's illegal," Flynn shouted. "So was recording it," his lawyer added. "Actually," Clark stepped forward, "that recording is from your own security system. We just acquired access when we acquired the company." Flynn slumped in his chair. "What do you want?" "I want you to sign the papers, step down gracefully, and never threaten me or my company again." I pushed the document closer. "You have 30 seconds to decide before I call the SEC." 28 seconds later, Flynn signed. As security escorted him out, Leah whispered, "That was better than any movie I've ever seen." "That was better than any movie I've been in," Maya added with a laugh. Uriel stepped forward. "Addison, I need to say something." "Not here," I replied, standing up. "Clark, Maya, handle the press release. I'm taking my family home." In the elevator, Uriel tried. "Again, I've been such a fool." "Yes," I agreed. "You have? For all these years, I thought I was supporting our family, but you were carrying us all while letting you believe you were in charge." "Yes," I finished. The elevator doors opened to the parking garage. "Let's go home. Those victory cookies should be cool enough to eat by now." As we drove home, Leah spoke up from the back seat. "Mom, can I help you bake something tomorrow?" "Of course, honey. But first, I have a morning meeting with investors in Tokyo. Can I watch that, too?" I caught her eye in the rearview mirror and smiled. "Absolutely. It's time you learned that women can do anything, including running an empire while making the perfect chocolate chip cookies." "Speaking of empire," Uriel said quietly, "I think we have a lot to talk about." "Yes," I agreed, pulling into our driveway. "We certainly do." Back home, the scent of cookies filled the air, but everything else felt different. Leah immediately pulled up news articles about me on her phone while Uriel paced the kitchen. "You're trending on Twitter," Leah announced. "People are calling you the cookie CEO and the stealth billionaire." "We need to talk," Uriel interrupted, his voice strained. "Really talk." I pulled the last batch of cookies from the oven. Yes, we do. I'll go to my room. Leah started to stand. No, I said firmly. You're part of this conversation too. Sit. We gathered around the kitchen island, the same spot, where they had dismissed me countless times. How could you not tell me? Uriel finally burst out. We're married. We're supposed to share everything. Share. I laughed sharply. Like how you shared your opinion that women don't understand business, or how you shared your dismissal of every suggestion I made. That's not fair. Not fair. I slammed my hand on the counter. You want to talk about fair? Let's talk about the night I closed my first major deal. I was on the phone in my office for hours, orchestrating $100 million acquisition. Do you remember what you said when I came to bed late? Uriel looked blank. You said, if you're going to waste time chatting with your friends all night, at least keep it down. Then you asked if I'd remembered to iron your shirts. Leah's eyes filled with tears. Dad, you didn't, single quotes, and I turned to her. Remember last month when I missed your dance recital? You told everyone I was probably just watching soap operas and eating bonbons. Mom, I'm so sorry. I missed it because I was preventing a hostile takeover that would have cost 3,000 people their jobs. I watched the video of your performance during a board meeting break, hiding in my office bathroom so no one would see me cry because I couldn't be there. The silence was deafening. Why did you stay? Uriel whispered. With your money, your power. Why put up with our disrespect? Because I love you both, I said simply. And I kept hoping that someday you'd see me. Really see me. Without needing to know about my success. Leah reached for a cookie, then stopped. All those times you baked, ... Were you actually on business calls with your earpiece in? Usually, multitasking becomes second nature when you're living a double life. I smiled slightly. The PTA actually has a lot in common with board meetings. Just different stakes. I told my friends you were pathetic. Leah's voice cracked. I was the pathetic one. I was so busy trying to be cool that I couldn't see how amazing you are. Honey, no mom. Let me finish. She stood up, tears streaming. You're like a superhero. You ran this massive company and took care of us and let us treat you like you were nothing. How can you ever forgive me? I reached across the counter and took her hand. Because that's what mothers do. We love unconditionally. I don't deserve it, she whispered. No, Uriel stood up. We don't deserve it. I've been a terrible husband, Addison. I was so wrapped up in my own importance that I made you feel small. All those times I bragged about providing for the family. While I quietly paid off the mortgage and funded your successful investments, I added. He winced. I've been such a fool. Yes, I agreed. You have. I pulled out my phone as it buzzed. Excuse me, Tokyo's calling. They watched in awe as I switched to flawless Japanese. Conducting a multi-million-dollar negotiation while sliding another plate of cookies their way. After I hung up, Leah spoke up. Will you teach me? Not just the business stuff, but how to be strong like you. And humble, Uriel added quietly. I have a lot to learn about that. I looked at my family, really looked at them. The arrogance was gone from Uriel's face, replaced by genuine remorse and admiration. Leah's usual teenage disdain had transformed into something like reverence. Okay, I said. Let's start over. But this time, we do it as equals. No more hiding. No more dismissing each other. Deal, deal, they said in unison. My phone buzzed again, Clark, with acquisition updates, but for once, it could wait. Right, now, I had more important things to focus on. So I smiled. Who wants to learn how to make my famous victory cookies? Me. Leah jumped up. But can you tell us about the Tokyo deal while we bake? Of course. Uriel rolled up his sleeves. I'm ready to learn everything. And for the first time in years, we felt like a real family. One built on truth, respect, and maybe just a few $1 billion worth of cookies. The morning sun streamed through my office windows as I reviewed quarterly reports. A knock at the door made me look up. Come in, I called, smiling as Leah poked her head in. Hey Mom, ready for the presentation? Today marked Leah's first internship presentation at my company. She'd insisted on starting at entry level, wanting to earn her place rather than rely on nepotism. Just finishing up here. I closed my laptop. How are you feeling? Nervous but good. She smoothed her blazer, the one we'd picked out together. Dad's already in the conference room. The fact that Uriel now attended company events as a supportive spouse rather than the assumed breadwinner still felt like a new reality.